ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Maitreya Uvacha. So chapter 19, the killing of demon Hiranyaksha. Maitreya Uvacha. Avadharya virinchasya nirvilekamritam vachaham prahasya prema garbhena tadapangena sograhit.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Sri Maitreya said, after hearing the words of Brahma, the Creator, which were free from all sinful purposes and as sweet as nectar, the Lord heartily laughed and accepted his prayers with a glance laden with love.
Tataha sapatnam mukataha charantam akuto bhayam jaganotpatya gadaya anu asaram akshajaha.
The Lord, who had appeared from the nostril of Brahma, sprang and aimed his mace at the chin of his enemy, the Hiranyaksha demon, who was stalking fearlessly before him.
Sahata tena gadaya vihata bhagvatkarat vighunitat patrade vighunitat apatatrejhe tadadbhutam iva abhavatam.
Struck by the demon's mace, however, the Lord's mace slipped from his hand and looked splendid as it fell down whirling. This was miraculous, for the mace was blazing wonderfully.
Satada labdati dopi na bhavade nirayudam manayan samvride dharmam viswaksenan prakopayan.
Even though the demon had an excellent opportunity to strike his unarmed foe without obstruction, he respected the law of single combat, thereby kindling the fury of the Supreme Lord.
Gadayam apaviddayam hahakare vinirghate manayamasa tadharmam tunabham chasmarad vibhuhu.
As the Lord's mace fell to the ground, and a cry of alarm arose from the witnessing crowd of gods and rishis, the personality of God had acknowledged the demon's love of righteousness, and therefore invoked his Sudarshan discus.
Samvyagrachakram diti putradhamena स्वपाशदमुख्येन विहज्यमानम् चित्रवाचो अतद्विदां केचराणम् तत्र स्मासन् स्वस्ति ते मुञ्जहीति.
As the discus began to revolve in Lord's hands, and the Lord contended at close quarters with the chief of his Vaikuntha attendants, who had been born as Hiranyaksha, a wild son of Diti, there issued from every direction strange expressions uttered by those who were witnessing from airplanes. They had no knowledge of Lord's reality, and they cried, "May victory attend you! Pray dispatch him! Play no more with him!"
सतं निशाम्य आतराङ्गमद्ग्रतो व्यवसितं पद्मपलाशलोचनं विलोक्य चामर्ष परिप्लुतेन्द्रियो रुषास्वदञ्चदम् अदशत् स्वसन्.
When the demon saw the personality of Godhead, who had eyes just like lotus petals, standing in position before him, armed with his Sudarshana discus, his senses were overpowered by indignations. He began to hiss like a serpent, and he bit his lip in great resentment.
करालदंष्ट्रः चक्षुर्भ्यां संचक्षाणुदहन्निवम् अभिप्लुत्य स्वगदया हतो आसीति अहनद्हरिम्.
The demon who had fearful tusks stared at the personality of Godhead as though to burn him. Springing into the air, he aimed his mace at the Lord, exclaiming at the same time, "You slain!"
पदा सव्येन तां साधो भगवान् यज्ञसूकरः लीलया मिशितः शत्रोः प्राहरद्वातरं हसम्.
O saintly Vidura, while his enemy looked on, the Lord in his boar form, the enjoyer of all sacrificial offerings, playfully knocked down the mace with his left foot, even as it came upon him with the force of a tempest.
आह चाइदम् आदत्वा घटस्व त्वं जिगीषसि इत्युक्तः सदा भूयः ताडयन् व्यनदद्वृशम्.
The Lord then said, "Take up your weapon and try again, eager as you are to conquer me." Challenged in these words, the demon aimed his mace at the Lord and once more loudly roared.
तां स आपततिं वीक्ष्य भगवान् समवस्थितः जग्राह लीलया प्राप्तं गरुत्मान् इव पन्नगीम्.
When the Lord saw the mace flying towards him, he stood firmly where he was and caught it with the same ease as Garuda, the king of birds, would seize his serpents.
स्वपौरुषे प्रतिहते हतमानो महासुरः नैत्यद्गदां दीयमानं हरिणा विगतप्रभः.
His valor thus frustrated, the great demon felt humiliated and was put out of countenance. He was reluctant to take back the mace when it was offered by the personality of Godhead.
जग्राह त्रिशिखं शूलं ज्वलज्वलनलोलुपं यज्ञाय दुतरूपाय विप्रायाभिचरण्यत.
He now took a trident which was as rapacious as flaming fire, and hurled it against the Lord, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, even as one would use penance for a malevolent purpose against a holy Brahmana.
तदोजस दैत्यमहाभटार्पितं चकासद् अन्तः उदीनधीदिति चक्रेण चिच्चेद निशातनेमिना हरिर्यततार्क्ष्यपतत्रमुज्जितम्.
Hurled by the mighty demon with all his strength, the flying trident shone brightly in the sky. The personality of Godhead, however, tore it to the pieces with his discus Sudarshana, which had sharp-edged rim, even as Indra cut off with the wing of Garuda.
रुक्ने स्वशूले बहुधारिणा हरेः प्रत्येत्य विस्तीर्णमुरो विभूतिमत्. प्रवृद्धरोषः स कठोरमुष्टिना नदन् प्रोच्चादन्तरदीयतासुरः.
The demon was enraged with his trident was cut to pieces by the discus of the personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced towards the Lord, and, roaring loud, struck his hard fist against Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Shrivasta. Then he went out of sight.
तेनेत्यमाहतः क्षतः भगवान् आदिसूकरः न अकम्पत मना क्वापि स्रजहत इव द्विपः.
Hit in this manner by the demon, O Vidura, the Lord, who had appeared as the first boar, did not feel the least quaking in any part of his body, any more than an elephant would when struck with the wreath of flowers.
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण. थैंक यू सो मच.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I just want to share my screen.
Yes, you can now, Mataji.
Thank you. Okay. Can you see, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, we can see. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So before we recite this beautiful chapter of Krishna Leela, let's do some prayers before reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयन्तस्थो भद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सताम् नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः मुखं करोति वचलं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातन्नहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji, and all the devotees for coming to read Srimad Bhagavatam together and for beautiful recitations as well. So today's chapter and canto is Canto 3, Chapter 19, The Killing of Demon Hiranyaksha. And the verses are for 15 to 21. We will just quickly go through the verses and translations and purport, and then we will discuss about it. 3.19.15 Vrikne swasule bahudharina harihe pratyetya vistiranam uro vibhutimat pravraddha roshah cha कठोरमुस्तीना नन्दन् प्रहर्यतान् तरधित्यास्तुरः. Translation. The demon was enraged when his trident cut into pieces by the discuss of personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced toward the Lord and roaring aloud, struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest, which bore the mark of Srivatsa. Then he went out of sight. Purport. Srivatsa is a curl of white hair on the chest of the Lord, which is a special sign of his being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Vaikuntha Lok or in Goloka Vrindavan, the inhabitants are exactly of the same form as the personality of Godhead. But by this Srivatsa mark on the chest of the Lord, he is distinguished from all others. तेनेत्थम् आहतः क्षतर् भगवान् आदिशुक्रः नाकम्पतमनाक् क्वापि स्रजाहत इव द्वीपः. Translation. Hit in this manner by the demon, O Vidura, the Lord who had appeared as the first boar did not feel the least quaking in any part of his body, any more than an elephant would when struck with a wreath of flowers. As previously explained, the demon was originally a servitor of Lord in Vaikuntha, but somehow or other he fell as a demon. His fight with the Supreme Lord was meant for his liberation. The Lord enjoyed the striking on his transcendental body, just like a fully grown up father fighting with his child. Sometimes a father takes pleasure in having a mock fight with his small child. And similarly, the Lord felt Hiranyaksha's striking on his body to be like flowers offered for worship. In other words, the Lord desired to fight in order to enjoy his transcendental bliss. Therefore, he enjoyed the attack. अथोरुद्धाश्रजन्मायां योगमायेश्वरे हरौ यां विलोक्य प्रजास्त्रस्ता मेनिरे स्योपसंपयमम्. Translation: The demon, however, employed many conjuring tricks against the personality of Godhead, who is the Lord of Yoga Maya. At the sight of this, the people were filled with alarm and thought that the dissolution of the universe was near. The fighting enjoyment of the Supreme Lord with his devotee, who had been converted into a demon, appeared severe enough to bring about the dissolution of the universe. This is the greatest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous movement in the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe. प्रववुर्वायवश्चण्डास् तमः पांसवम् आरयन् दिग्भयो निपतिर्ग्राह्वणः क्षेपने प्रहिता इव. Translation: Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness occasioned by dust and hailstorms. Stones came into volleys from every corner, as if thrown by machine guns. द्यौर्नष्टभगनार्भ्रोग्यः सविद्युत्स्तनयुनुभिः वर्षभिः पूयक्षेश्रग् विन्मुद्रास्थिनी चासकृत्. Translation: The luminaries in outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with masses of clouds, which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. The sky rained pus, hair, blood, stool, urine, and bones. गीरयः प्रत्यदृश्यन्त नानायुद्धमुचो नगा दिग्वाससो यातु धन्यः शूलिन्यो मुक्तमूर्धजः. Translation: O sinless Vidura, mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked, demonless armed with tridents appeared, with their hair hanging loose. बहुभिर्यक्षरक्षोभिः पत्ये अश्वरथकुञ्जरः आततायिभिरुत्सृष्टा हिंस्रावाचोऽतिवैशसः. Translation: Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by hosts of ruffian yakshas and rakshasas, who all either marched on foot or rode on horses, elephants, or chariots. Hare Krishna. So we'll go back to verse 15. Yeah. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So I hope I will be able to say something meaningful or share about the glories of the Lord and His pastimes. I'm not eligible, but I will try my best. So this chapter, actually, the killing of the demon Hiranyaksha. Before this chapter, we actually, if we go back, let's go back to chapter 18 here. 18. The battle between Lord Bor and the demon Hiranyaksha. So the battle started here, where Maitri Muni is telling how these things happened, how the curse actually happened. Jaya and Vijaya got cursed, and how they were sent to this Mrityulok and this earth to take births in three different forms, three different lives, and this is the very first one where they got this body of two demons of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. And now, the previous chapter, actually the battle started when they were born, and everyone was frightened by the magnitude of their bodies and by the kind of activities they were doing, by their wrath, and by all these demoniac terrors. They were terrifying the whole universe, actually, the whole world and the whole universe. With even the demigods were terrified by them. And we know that by the end of this chapter, previous chapter, what happened is that now the Lord was approached by the demigods, obviously, and Brahmaji itself, and Swayambhuva Manu, and the Lord was approached in a way that these two demons have taken birth, and who will protect? Who is the go-to for all the demigods is Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna. So obviously he was approached, and then he took the form of this beautiful form, even though it was a form of an animal. That we would say that we wouldn't expect Lord to take forms of animals, but we know that the whole universe and every living entity is made from him. It is his creation. So, and he is present in every living entity, every atom. So he can take any form, in whatever form he takes, and he is the one who created that form. So he took the form which was suitable for that task, for that particular task, because he had to lift the earth, and he had to show the his Leela in that particular form, so that we can relish it later on. So because of certain tasks and certain for protecting his devotees and for establishing dharma, as we know from Bhagavad Gita, he takes various forms. And then so he took the form of this Vrahadev, which was a very beautiful form as described in the scriptures, that even though it's a form of animal, but it was very pleasing to the eyes of demigods. Even Hiranyaksha himself, when he saw the form of the Lord, beautiful petal-like, beautiful lotus-like, petal-like eyes, when he saw, and his body, although was animal in form of that animal, but it looked so beautiful. Indeed, by looking at Lord's form, in any form he comes, and be it Narsimhadev or Vrahadev or any other form, it has that beauty. It's transcendental. and it is beyond our material senses to understand his beautiful forms. So he has appeared, and now the fight between Hiranyaksha and Lord is actually taking place. And to read about this pastime of how Lord fought, every detail is mentioned in Bhagavatam, like what just like a movie, just like a action movie. When the hero and the villain are there, the villain is throwing so and so, and he's using his punches, using his legs or some kind of weapons, and then the hero is kicking him there, and he's slapping him, and all those activities, the martial activities that we see in the movies, actually that has actually happened in the past. Lord is the one who was the hero in those leelas, and so that we could hear and learn from these pastimes, he made that possible, and he created that pastime also. So before we could go to Hollywood and Bollywood and any other movies, actually there is action. The Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and the pastimes of the Lord are full of action. But that is actually real. That is not fictional, and that is not self-made or imaginary. That is the real hero. He is the real hero, if you look at it in that ways. So yes. So before verse 15, if we go to verse 14, which is very, very beautiful, where it says, hurled by the mighty demon with all his strength, the flying trident shone brightly in the sky. Now that these arguments and these kind of abusive words were coming out of demon's mouth, because what is the quality of a demon? That demon will not tolerate anyone to be above them, because it is said in purport in one of the translations also, hurled by the mighty demon with all his strength. So actually the demons are very powerful. They are demons. They are intelligent also, but intelligent in a way that they only think about raising their standards of life, raising their standard of knowledge. But they don't think out of that. They don't think that the real intelligence is above material gains and material benefits. Their brain or their mental capacity doesn't think beyond that, and they just want to become the controller of their life or everyone, just like in the case of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, and many other demons that we've read about. So they are very they're very powerful, because they do the yagyas and sacrifices and charities and whatever they do, the demons, actually it is not done for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. And it is said again and again that Vishnu in Bhagavatam confirms that the benefactor, that the proprietor or the actually ultimate receiver of all the sacrifices, austerities, and charities is Lord Vishnu, is Krishna. So if we are not, whatever we do, ultimately he's gonna get the result of that. But the demons, they don't think like that. So demonic mentality would say would push you to do these things for your own sense gratification or for satisfaction of the demigods, so that we can satisfy ourselves, we can gratify our senses, we can make our kingdom or our own world that we've created in our mind more and more comfortable, not knowing that it's going to end one day. So an intelligent person who's really intelligent would be one who will use these resources in the service of the Lord, and all the sacrifices, whatever good we do it as an offering to the Lord. But here, the demon Hiranyaksha was very proudy, and Hiranyakashipu also, and both brothers were very proud of their strength and power. And when we become too much, when we get too much of material benefits or opulences, we actually forget God. Even though we may be very pious, or or we may be a good person also, but if we become too much comfortable in the material world, it is actually a very dangerous situation, because there is possibility to forget about God and there is possibility to become attached to our belongings, which will actually then take a shape, or it will convert into lust. It will convert into greed for gaining more and more, and ultimately it will convert into anger, which is what is happening here to Hirnyaksha also. What happened to him is that he wanted to please his brother also, obviously, and they wanted to expand their demoniac kingdom and control the whole world. And he was unnecessarily terrifying and torturing Mother Earth, and Mother Earth is also a devotee. So Lord, obviously, to protect his devotees and on request of the demigods, he took this form. And he also, because he wanted to deliver his devotee Jaya and Vijaya, that was already planned by him, he took this form. So here in this verse, the flying trident, now because he started abusing, Hirnyaksha started abusing the Lord. The Lord actually then had to take out his Sudarshan Chakra, which is mentioned here. The personality of Godhead, however, tore it into pieces with his Sudarshan Chakra, which had a sharp-edged rim, even as Indra cut off a wing of Garuda. Very beautiful, where Krishna only takes out his Sudarshan Chakra when he has to protect his devotees, or his Sudarshan Chakra is actually very, very powerful. It's more powerful than a nuclear weapon or whatever power we know in this universe. It's very powerful weapon, Sudarshan Chakra. And if Krishna has taken out Sudarshan Chakra, it means that there is time for something big. I mean, it is something adharmic which is happening in front of him, and to protect his devotees, he does that. But we can see that the trident that the demon Hirnyaksha threw, actually it was tore into pieces with the Sudarshan Chakra of Lord Hari, of Lord Vrahadev. So just wanted to tell you a little bit about from Mahabharat, Vitara Parva, 56.3rd verse, where it says something about Sudarshan Chakra. So Sudarshan Chakra is eternally carried by the Supreme Lord Vishnu or Krishna as his personal weapon. Yeah, it's one of his personal weapons. The Lord uses this weapon for the protection of his devotees. And this disc is extremely fearful to non-devotees. So non-devotees, as we know, the story of, there's another story where, who was it? Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj. Yes, the story of Durvasa Muni and Ambrish Maharaj, where Krishna, Lord Vishnu, has to take out his Sudarshan Chakra to protect his devotee. And then there was no other way for the Muni to escape from the wrath and from the Sudarshan Chakra being chasing him. And he has to take shelter of the devotee himself to, and beg for forgiveness. And that is the only way for the Sudarshan Chakra to go back to the owner. Otherwise, it has to finish the task that has been given to the Sudarshan Chakra. So that's why the non-devotees are extremely very, very fearful of Sudarshan Chakra, because they know that once it's out, it's going to finish and it's going to do its task and it's going to go back to the owner, that is Lord Vishnu. But Krishna only used this weapon for protection of his devotees. It is most powerful weapon, greater than the Brahmastra. Like I said, Brahmastra is very, very powerful weapon, but it's even powerful than that, or similar other disastrous weapons. So it is very powerful weapon. Lord Krishna used the Sudarshan Chakra to kill Shishupal. Yeah, we must have, if someone hasn't heard, then Shishupal also was abusing Krishna and using abusive language and all the nonsense against him. Many times he kept doing that 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 times, more than 100 times. So Krishna tolerated all those words, that abusive words. But after the 100th time he said it, Krishna had to take out his Sudarshan Chakra and and actually deliver Shishupal. And Shishupal actually got liberated because his body was touched. He was touched by Krishna in a way. So so Sudarshan Chakra killed Shishupal as well. And he also killed Salva by his weapon. And sometimes he wanted his friend Arjun to use it to kill his enemies. So he wanted Arjuna to kill his enemy, to help Arjuna kill the enemies, but that wasn't actually done. So a little bit about Sudarshan Chakra. And if we go back to 15th verse, the demon was enraged when his trident was cut into pieces. He became very angry. Because this is how the qualities of demons are what? Lust, greed, anger. These are the qualities of demonic qualities. And we all have these qualities within us. We also become angry when something is not finished, when we don't achieve something in our lives. We also get these lusty desires, and that converts into greed and wrath and anger, and ultimately we lose control of our mind and intelligence, and we do things whimsically, which are not mentioned in the scriptures, or which are against dharma. So we have to be careful. So he became very angry when he saw that his trident is cut by the discuss of personality of Godhead. He therefore advanced toward the Lord and, roaring aloud, struck his hard fist against the Lord's broad chest. So now another quality is, when someone has to show their strength in material world also, when we see that someone has to show their strength and there is no other way they can show their strength, what do? They start shouting. And when there is a fight in office or wherever, at home with our siblings or somewhere in the road, they hit you or anything, what do? We become angry. And how do we show our anger? By roaring and by showing them that I have got more power, more strength than you, and so that the other person gets frightened. So that's exactly what Hiranyaksha did. When he was angry, he started roaring aloud so that the Lord can get frightened. And then what he did, when we get angry, we show some physical symptoms, and we do some actions when we are in anger, when we become aggressive actually. Then what we start doing, we start using a body. We start showing the person that we are angry now, and I can hit you, or I can harm you. So that's what he started doing. Whatever was in his mind, it started taking form of physical symptoms. So that's why we also, when we whatever kind of consciousness and we have, whatever kind of things we listen to and we hear or we read every day, or kind of people we associate with, those types of thoughts actually sit in our minds and brains throughout the day. And we start thinking about them over and over and over. And again, repeatedly thinking about that. Oh, this person said me this person said me that. We start thinking, and the anger builds up in our minds. And because we're constantly thinking about it, what happens? The physical symptoms. Like we want now when I see this person, I feel like hitting. I feel like, doing something to them because they did so. So that's why we have to control our minds. It's so important to control our minds and anger. So now he was angry, and he made a fist against the Lord's broad chest and struck his hard fist against the Lord's chest, which bore the mark of Shri Vatsa. Then he went out of sight. So what happened? Because he was angry, he made his hard fist, and then he struck on Lord's broad chest. So it is said here, we can see that how the Lord is glorified actually in these translations and in verses. Broad chest. Lord's chest is not like an ordinary person. His bodily features are all perfect. So everything is transcendently perfect in Lord's form. So he's got a broad chest, and the fist that Hiranyaksha made against to hit the Lord was not actually nothing, was not going to harm Lord's chest or Lord's body at all. But here there's something significant which is mentioned, which is Shri Vatsa mark. So what is this Shri Vatsa mark? Let's see. So Shri means, as we know, Shri means goddess Lakshmi. So this is from ISKCON, one of the ISKCON, our devotees website, and where things are explained. So Srivatsa means beloved of Shri. Shri means goddess Lakshmi, and Vatsa means beloved. So beloved of Shri is who? Lord Hari, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. So yeah, so it is the mark on the chest of Vishnu where his consort Lakshmi resides, because Lord's consort, or Lakshmi Devi, or I can say Radharani, where does she reside? She resides in the chest of Vishnu. So Lakshmi Devi resides in the chest of Vishnu. That's why there is a mark on his chest which is called Srivatsa mark. It is said that the 10th avatar of Vishnu, Kalki, will bear the Srivatsa mark on his chest. It is one of the names of Vishnu also in Vishnu Sahasranam. And Srivatsa is popular name in many places, in actually many states in India, like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. Also, very interesting thing about Srivastamark is that it is mentioned by, it was actually, Lord was glorified by this, here in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.89, 54 verses 54 to 56 translation. Arjuna then saw the omnipresent and omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu, sitting at ease on the serpent bed. His bluish complexion was color of a dense rain cloud. He wore a beautiful yellow garment. His face looked charming. His broad eyes were most attractive, and he had 8 long, handsome arms. His profuse locks of hair were bathed on all sides in the brilliance reflected from the clusters of precious jewels decorating his crown and earrings. He wore the Kaustuba gem, the mark of Srivatsa, and a garland of forest flowers. Serving that topmost of all lords were his personal attendants, headed by Sunanda and Nanda, his chakra and other weapons in their personal forms. His consort potencies Pushti, Shri, Kirti, and Aja, and all his various mystic powers. So this is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. Also, because 10th canto is mostly about Krishna Leelas in Vrindavan, and with his devotees in Vrindavan, Gokul. So here Arjuna saw actually this form, and it is mentioned that he also saw this mark. So it is actually, this is one of the marks that only Lord Hari has on his body. Apart from that, Vasudeva saw that wonderful child born as a baby with 4 hands, holding conch-shell club disc and lotus flower, decorated with mark of Srivatsa, wearing the jeweled necklace of Kaustubha stone, dressed in yellow silk, appearing dazzling like a bright blackish cloud, wearing a helmet bedecked with Vaidurya stone, valuable bracelets, earrings, and similar other ornaments all over his body, and beautified by an abundance of hair on his head. Due to the extraordinary features of the child, Vasudeva was struck with wonder. This is from Krishna book, which is also 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we see that there are so many references where Srivatsamarg has been mentioned in the scriptures. So Srivatsa is a curl of white hair on the chest of Lord, which is a special sign of his being the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Vaikuntha Lok or in Goloka Vrindavan, the inhabitants are exactly as same form as Personality of Godhead, but this mark on the chest of the Lord distinguishes him from others. So in Goloka, in Vaikuntha, we all know that one who goes to the Vaikuntha Lok, what happens? They get the form of everyone in the Vaikuntha Lok, the Vaikuntha Vasis have got the forms, 4-handed form, and beautiful form, the similar color, garments, and they look like exactly Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. So they all have got those beautiful forms, but there is one difference, and that difference is that obviously the Supreme Lord is still not the same. I mean, the Supreme Lord has still got his own identity as the Supreme Lord, and the other forms are as qualitatively same as Lord, but quantitatively they are not same. And Srivasta is a mark, which is a special mark, is only found in Lord Vishnu's chest. So that is how we can differentiate Lord Vishnu from the other Vaikuntha Vasis which are present in the Vaikuntha Lok. That's one thing. Then, as previously explained, the demon was originally a servitor of the Lord in Vaikuntha Loka, but somehow or the other fell as a demon. So we know what happened, that when someone offends the devotee of the Lord, or when even being a devotee, he is a devotee himself, he was a devotee. Hirnyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, they were Jaya and Vijaya. They were devotees and they were residing in Vaikuntha Lok. But because they offended a devotee, then what happens when we do offense is the result of an offense is very, very severe. Because of the offense also, he has to take a form of demon. Yeah, and actually, because Lord has promised that once you taken to Krishna conscious, or to this path of bhakti, and we surrender to the Lord and we become the devotees, he only promises in Bhagavad Gita that he has taken, now he's in charge of the life of the devotee. So because he knew that there was an offense made by Jaya and Vijaya, but he knew that he is the controller of, and he is in charge of this person's life now, this devotee's life now. So he planned how to purify them now. Now, give them a form of demon and make this whole Leela happen so that the world can learn, and the devotees can be glorified. And the differentiation between demon and demigods and devotees and demon can be made, can be established. This whole plan was, it was Krishna's plan, and he took the devotees back to, we will know in the next few verses and chapters that how he went back, Hiranyaksha, who was also a devotee in his previous life, he was taken back to Vaikuntha Loka through this Leela of Krishna that we are reading. But so because he was a devotee, his fight with Supreme Lord was meant for his liberation. So we can compare this situation to our own lives. Sometimes we feel that I'm doing everything. I'm chanting from 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years now. My whole family is devotee. My grandparents were devotee. There's so much devotional involvement in the house. I'm doing so many services, but still so many problems are coming. Why did this happen to me? But we don't see through these pastimes, we should learn that there is a divine plan behind everything. I might be going through some problems now, but I don't know what Krishna has planned for me. So in the same way, Jaya and Vijaya, they became demons, but there was a big plan behind that. This fight that Hiranyaksha is having with the Lord, he doesn't know that he's going to be liberated. He's going to get a divine form. He's going to go back to the Vaikuntha Lok. So this is how Lord is to his devotees. He looks after everyone. The Lord enjoyed the striking on his transcendental body, just like fully grown a father fighting his child. So it's so beautiful explanation given by Prabhupada in the purport that for Lord, just like a father, when the child of a father, sometimes he's upset with the father. You didn't do this to me. You didn't give me this. I want that toy. You didn't give me so much money, or whatever is the reason behind child's anger or frustration with the father, and he may try to hit his father and with his little hands and little body and try to push him back, and sometimes he does that to the mother also. But does that affect the father or mother? It doesn't, because the child will remain the child, and the father will actually enjoy those fighting with the child, and he will not actually take it as an offense, but he will just laugh, or he will just see that how my child is fighting, and how the father feels. So the similar feeling Lord had, the Lord enjoyed it. The Lord enjoys when his devotees like Jaya and Vijaya were the devotees. They were fighting with the Lord, and Lord was just enjoying it. So very nice comparison has been made here. And actually, the Lord felt Hiranyaksha striking on his body to be just like flowers offered for worship. So Lord was not taking it as an offense, although it looks like Lord also became angry. He's also throwing things. He's also engaging in the fights. But actually the striking, or the number of strikes that Hiranyaksha did against Lord were all taken as offering. Lord just accepted that as an offering to the Lord, to him, towards him. And similar thing we can see in Putana, Putana Dahan. Putana was a demon who was trying to kill Krishna, who was also a demon. So many demons came, trying to kill little Krishna, and by giving her milk to Krishna and taking a form of a mother to in front of Krishna. But Krishna didn't take it as an offense. He even delivered the Putana. He accepted her. And gave her a position of mother in spiritual world. So this is how the Lord is. He accepts the devotees actually. The whatever, if even if we try to do something against Krishna, he accepts is as an offering. But that doesn't mean that we should offend him. We should abuse him and intentionally do something. But this is the glory of the Lord, that how glorious Lord is, and how tolerant, glorious, and how pure he is, that he doesn't take anything as an offense. In other words, the Lord desired to fight in order to enjoy his transcendental bliss. Therefore, he enjoyed the attack. It's very simple, that he was just simply enjoying the fight with his devotee. The fighting enjoyment of Supreme Lord with his devotee who had been converted into a demon appeared severe enough to bring about dissolution in the universe. But because it was a fight, it was a really, if we see that Lord, it's a Leela and pastime of the Lord. So, and Lord is actually the creator of the whole universe, creator of everything. When he is fighting, we can imagine what can happen, how much dissolution, and it will almost look like the world is going to end. So the clouds were started rain, hailstorms started happening, mountains were giving away their natural habitat, and animals were roaming here and there. So many things were happening, just like a dissolution, just like an annihilation of the universe, because he is the creator of the universe, and we can imagine when he is fighting, he is he is the universe. So what disturbance it can create in the whole universe, we can imagine. This is the greatness of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even the wavering of his little finger appears to be a great and very dangerous movement in the eyes of inhabitants of the universe, because he is actually creating the universes, and he is bigger than the universe itself. So even little activity of the Lord can actually create big impact in the whole universe. Fierce winds began to blow from all directions, spreading darkness, occasioned by dust and hailstorms. Stones come in volleys from every corner as if thrown by machine guns. So we know when the machine guns are actually used, what happens. It's so scary. It looks like someone's going to die now, and the sound itself is so scary. So the whole environment, while this fight was happening, we can't imagine how it must have felt like. Very, very strong noise around the whole universe, volcanoes erupting, hailstorms, and the stones coming out of the volleys. So it was very dangerous kind of situation, like as if everything is gonna end now, just like a war. The luminaries in the outer space disappeared due to the skies being overcast with the masses of clouds. Even there was darkness all over, which were accompanied by lightning and thunder. So not just the natural habitats and the mountains and rivers and everything, but even the sky was dark, and lightning and thunder was happening. The sky rained pus, hair, blood, stool, urine, and bones. We can't imagine. And if it is written in Bhagavatam, it has happened. It has actually happened. Rains of the blood, stool, urine, and bones, and all these omens, it started happening. The sinless Vidura, very important point here that he has mentioned, and we can see in Bhagavatam that every person, every devotee has been given a very special consideration, very special name, and praised. So even the devotees are praised in Bhagavatam. So sinless Vidura, because Vidura, who is Vidura? Vidura was Yamraj in his, before he became Vidura, he was looking after that area where he could see the wrong and right and give results according to and send them according to their deeds. So that's why it said, "O sinless Vidura," because he is the one who was looking at dharma. Mountains discharged weapons of various kinds, and naked, demonless, armed with tridents appeared with their hair hanging loose. So we can see how the symptoms were sound, how the world was and the universe was. Cruel and savage slogans were uttered by the hosts of Rakshasas, who all either marched on foot, on rode on horses, elephants, and chariots. So the kind of situation was very, very, although there were only two people, only Krishna, only Varahadev and Hirnyaksha fighting, but you can see the disturbance it created in the whole world was too much. And just to yes, but we have to remember one thing from Bhagavad Gita. That's why I've opened this chapter of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute. Although Hiranyaksha was very strong, very powerful, and but we should always remember one thing that Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, he says that I am the original seed of all existences, and through this destruction, this is a proof that when he is there, when he is, it is his creation. He is the original seed giving father. He is the original seed of all existence. There will be destruction if something goes wrong. The intelligence of the intelligent and prowess of all powerful man. Hiranyaksha is forgetting here that whatever strength he's got and whatever power he's showing and whatever control he's showing to the Lord, he's forgetting that it's coming from the Lord himself. The person he is fighting against and he's throwing his arrows and his fist and punching and whatever he's doing, he's forgetting, he has no idea about it, that that power actually comes from Krishna, from him only. Krishna says, I'm the strength of the strong and devoid of passion and desire. So he's forgetting, Hiranyaksha, that whatever intelligent strength he's got, it is coming from the Lord, the Lord who's in front of him. It's coming from him. So the fight continues actually, but there's a very beautiful before ending. I just wanted to share this very beautiful verse which says, what grateful soul is there who would not render his loving service to such a great master as personality of Godhead? The Lord can easily be pleased by spotless devotees who resort exclusively to him for protection though the unrighteous man finds it difficult to propitiate him. Every living entity, especially persons and human race, must feel grateful for benedictions offered by grace of the Supreme Lord. So the benediction given to Hiranyakashipu actually was given by who ultimately? By the Lord. It was his energy, his power. The three modes are under him. He is above them. He has got all the material energy. It is his energy. So especially the persons and human race, must feel grateful for the benedictions offered to by the Supreme Lord. We could have many number of talents within us. It could be any talent. We should never forget that it comes from the Lord. Therefore, anyone with a simple heart of gratefulness must be Krishna conscious and offer devotional service to the Lord. We should be grateful for whatever we've got in this life. Those who are actually thieves and rogues do not recognize the actual benediction offered to them by the Supreme Lord, and they cannot render him devotional service. Ungrateful persons are those who do not understand how much benefit they are deriving by arrangement of the Lord. We don't actually appreciate our the bodies or the everything that we've got from the Lord. We don't appreciate. We keep pointing out at the defects that we have. We don't appreciate what actually we have gotten, and we are always ungrateful to the God. Why did you do this? Why didn't I get this or that? But we actually don't realize that he only minimizes our punishment for what we've done in our past lives. We must have offended so many people. We must have done so many bad, sinful activities, and used our free will in a wrong way. But Lord always minimizes our punishment and gives us the best so that we are not affected by our sinful reactions. This is how great Lord is. Ungrateful persons who do not understand how much benefit they are deriving from arrangement of the Lord. They enjoy the sunshine and moonshine and yet get water free of charge, yet they do not feel grateful, but simply go on enjoying these gifts of the Lord. Therefore, they must be called thieves. So, we all are actually thieves, or we all are here just for a short time. And we've been given so much freedom to use this time and resources that we've got from the Lord. But we should always remember that if we offer it to Him, and if we remember who is our Lord and what is our role and why are we here and how we can go back and what is pure love, pure devotional service, then we will come out of this entanglement and we will realize our true selves. So in the next few verses, Hiranyaksh is actually going to be killed. We will see, and then it's also written in Bhagavatam. The last verses of Bhagavatam are actually very, very beautiful, where especially 37 and 38, which says that anyone who hears, chants, or takes pleasure in the wonderful narration of killing of Hiranyaksha demon by the Lord, who appeared as the firstborn in order to deliver the world, is at once relieved of the results of sinful activities, even of killing a Brahmana. Beautiful. And just ending this most sacred narrative confers extraordinary merit, wealth, fame, longevity, and all the objects of one's desire. On the field of battle, it promotes the strength of one's vital organs and organs of action. One who listens to it at last moment of his life is transferred to the supreme abode of the Lord, O dear Shonaka. So you can see their glories and of just by hearing the narrative pastimes of the Lord attentively, how much Lord actually saves us from wrongdoings, and we can get promoted to the spiritual world in the end of our lives. So with that, I want to stop sharing my screen and stop speaking now. If there is anything someone wants to share, we have few minutes left, or any reflections, realizations, then please go ahead. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If I've made any wrong comments or said anything wrong, then please forgive me. I'm just trying and learning to say a little bit about the Lord. Any reflections? Okay. Hare Krishna. What is the name of Krishna? What is the name of the white hair which is on the which differentiates Krishna from other Vaikuntavasis?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Shrivasta.
Shrivasta. Yes, that's right. And there's one more thing that I wanted to ask. Okay, that's fine. That is something that I think many people don't know about, this distinction of the Lord. And yes, this is the very glorious pastime. And in the end, we will learn that just hearing this pastime can actually give us so much devotional service. And it guarantees, actually, Bhagavatam is saying in the end that just hearing it, you can go back to Godhead. So imagine if we hear Bhagavatam every day and read it and listen to glories of the Lord and attentively listen to it, then how much we will be saved from the miseries. And it will purify our heart day by day. Thank you. Any comments or anything that you would like to correct? Any corrections?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ji. Thank you so much for an excellent class. I was just wondering, it's Lord Vishnu who's got the Srivatsa mark, not Lord Krishna, isn't it?
Yes. Yes,
Because
Mataji.
any
That
pictures
is,
you see of Lord Krishna, you don't see the Srivatsa on his chest. It's Lord Vishnu. But then
yes.
it was Lord Vishnu who appeared in the prison, as you said. So I was a bit confused, you know.
Yes, Mataji. If anyone wants to answer that before I say anything, any experts or who's Amok Prabhu
Um,
would like to
Hare
share?
Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. Srila Prabhupada. Krishna also has got so Krishna and same Krishna in the Vaikuntha is in his four-handed opulent form. So there is no difference between Krishna and Vishnu, but it is functions are different. Krishna is the enjoying Vihret Paramanandi, Govind Atulanayaka in the Golopur in the still he has got Srivatsa symbol, I think.
Okay.
But I'll share that one later in the shlokas Mataji whenever I get a chance.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, because I did not read about that mark in Krishna's body. I mean, I didn't read anywhere, but if you can share, because yes, when Krishna appeared in front of Vasudeva and Devaki, he didn't appear in his Krishna Sundar form, right? He appeared in his Vishnu form, in four-handed form, right? So,
Yes, yes.
isn't it?
In a baby form, he appeared like a baby with four hands,
Yes.
helmet, all the jewels and all ornaments with
Yes.
pitavas and everything. Ready-madely, he has got no need to buy any shopping, so he has got everything.
Yes.
And
Yes.
later on, in the prayers of at the after end of the prayers of Vasudeva, he mentioned, "Oh my dear Lord, so you have appeared like this. If comes a nose," and then he mentioned and he stopped his prayers. Later on the request of Devaki prayers, Lord, he himself turned himself into two-handed form.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, that's absolutely right. And you rightly said that Vishnu and Krishna are not different. It's just that Krishna only is taking form of Vishnu, isn't it? So Krishna is
Yes,
only, when we know the various forms the Krishna takes and how he expands and the three Mahapurushas, and then how it's differentiated. It's a long chart actually. If we have to read how he's expanding.
Okay.
But I'm not sure about this mark if it's there also in Krishna's. But like you said, it's the same. Krishna and Vishnu are not different. So we will find about it, Mataji. I'm not yet
Okay.
sure, but
Thank you
Prabhu
so
is saying
much.
that I believe Prabhu is read it and
Yeah. Thank you both very much, Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Anyone like to add something? Okay. Thank you so much for joining, and may you have a very blissful rest of the year and life ahead. Hare Krishna.
thank you very much.
Vanchikalpatarubyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha
Upasindhya
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo
namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai
Jai,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai
Jai,
Jai.
Namaste. Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Hari
Thank you.
Bol.
Thank you
Thank
so much,
you.
Mataji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna
Hare
for
Thank you
excellent
so much,
class. Hare
Karan. Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji, for the nice class.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna dear.